All right, today we're diving into a series of philosophical essays that start in a really unexpected place, a pig's purpose, and end with, well, a pretty wild blueprint for the future of all humanity. We're going to unpack the meaning of life, the problem of injustice, and a vision for society that challenges pretty much everything we take for granted. So let's get right into it.
It's the big one. The question we've all probably stared at the ceiling and asked ourselves at 3 a.m. It's right at the heart of what we're talking about today. But the answer we're going to explore? It is probably not what you're expecting. So, to kick things off, the source hits us with this really stark, kind of unsettling thought. It's a bit jarring, right? But this quote is actually the key to the whole argument. It suggests that maybe, just maybe, a being's purpose isn't found by looking inside itself, but by looking up. And that brings us to this central idea, higher level meaning. The argument here is that just like a pig can't possibly understand its role in the farmer's grand plan, maybe we humans are fundamentally incapable of defining our own ultimate purpose. That meaning, the source suggests, is actually set by a higher level of existence. To make this idea a little less, out there, the source uses some really simple analogies. Think about it. A phone has no idea what its purpose is, but the person who designed it sure does. Wheat doesn't know it's going to become bread, but the farmer who planted it does. The argument is that we're in the exact same boat, relative to whatever created us. Okay, so we've got this huge cosmic idea on the table, but now the source brings it all the way back down to Earth. It zooms in on a problem that I think we can all relate to, that feeling that life just isn't fair. And that just opens up another can of worms, doesn't it? I mean, if you pour your heart and soul into doing the right thing, day in and day out, but you just get kicked for it, what's the point? This is the struggle the source calls life's unfair balance sheet. And the source really drives this point home with some examples that, well, they probably hit pretty close to home for a lot of us. The parent who gives everything, only to get ingratitude in return. Or the spouse who works and works, but all they ever hear are complaints. It paints a really vivid picture of good deeds just not paying off. And it doesn't stop there. The examples just keep piling up, building this powerful sense of frustration. A loyal general framed and executed for a crime they never committed. An employee who works themselves to the bone for pennies. A supposed friend who stabs you in the back the second you help them out. So you see where this is going, right? It all builds up to this one nagging question. After all that, is being a good person just a losing game? Is all our effort just going to be completely wasted? But just when you think it's all doom and gloom, the source pulls a 180. It doesn't just leave us hanging with the problem. It offers a direct answer, a real framework for building a meaningful life, no matter what the world throws at you. And the solution is built on these three pillars: creation, contribution, and honesty. The idea is if you master even one of these, you're valuable. If you master all three, your sense of purpose is basically unshakable. Let's dig into what each of these really means. Okay, first up, creation. The idea here is pretty powerful. It's that the very core of life is about creating something. It doesn't matter if you're building a business, writing a book, or even just planting a garden. That act of bringing something new into the world gives you purpose. A true creator, it says, always has work to do. Next, we've got contribution. And this is key. It's not just about giving. It's about giving without keeping score. The source argues that the people who genuinely help others and improve society without constantly thinking, what's in it for me, they become indispensable. People value them wherever they go. And the final pillar is honesty. Plain and simple integrity, keeping your word even when it's tough. The author, who mentions being a former business owner, says this quality is the absolute rarest and most valuable of all, more important than any fancy degree or technical skill you could ever have. All right, so we've looked at the individual's problems and the proposed solution. But now the source zooms the camera way, way out again. It argues that humanity as a whole is facing the exact same kind of crisis, but on a massive planetary scale. And to show just how high the stakes are, the author makes a claim that is, well, it's pretty mind-blowing. They claim that our civilization is actually the fifth one, and that the four previous versions all collapsed because of spiritual and moral rot. The warning is crystal clear. We are heading down that exact same path. So what's the problem this time around? Well, according to this source, our main systems are basically dead ends.
Socialism is described as a path to everyone being poor together. And capitalism, while it's great at creating wealth, is seen as a system that's just going to burn through all our resources and collapse. So, in this view, neither one is the answer.
And honestly, the diagnosis from there gets even bleaker. With AI and automation taking over more and more jobs, the source argues that humanity is literally becoming unnecessary, a superfluous species. We're just consumers, using up resources and creating waste, while technology makes us obsolete.
So, faced with this pretty terrifying picture, what's the answer? Well, the solution proposed in these essays isn't just a small fix, it's a complete teardown and rebuild of human society from the ground up.
So what is this grand solution? It's called Su Fang-style communism. Now, the author is really clear that this has nothing to do with the communism we saw in the 20th century. In fact, they criticize that too. This is presented as a totally new way of living, one they say has been tested in a small community for over a decade, and it's positioned as the key to solving pretty much all of our biggest problems. And when I say teardown, I mean it. The vision for this new era is, wow, it's radical. We're talking about systematically taking apart the very building blocks of society as we know it. The argument is that these things, family, nations, money, are the root cause of all the selfishness and conflict that destroys civilizations. So the plan starts by getting rid of marriage and family. Then it moves on to eliminating countries and borders. And finally, it gets rid of all money and organized religion. So if you get rid of all that, what's left? What replaces it? It's not what you'd think. Not more laws. The source says all current laws and constitutions would be abolished. In their place, there would be one set of guiding ideas called the 800 Concepts for the New Era, designed to create a totally harmonious society. But to even get there, every single person on Earth would have to go through what's called a spiritual purification, to basically cleanse humanity of all the greed and ego that defines our world now. And that brings us right back to where we started, doesn't it? From a pig's life all the way to a blueprint for a brand new world. It has been quite a trip. And it leaves us with this final, central question. After hearing all this, what do you think? Is our purpose something handed down to us from above? Or is it something we forge for ourselves by creating, by contributing, and by being honest? The question, now, is all yours.